Good morning, everybody. We are 13 days out from the universe. It's Sunday. It's leg day. So, just woke up. Literally just rolled out of bed. We're gonna use the bathroom and then see our weight and then do our check-ins. So my weight stayed relatively the same, actually exactly the same as it was yesterday. So 2 days ago was 199.5. Then yesterday we dropped to 198.5, and now today another weigh-in at 198.5. And I'm still pretty hydrated when I wake up. I can tell by just the color of my urine, it's still relatively clear. But the fact that I'm 198.5 and the weight cap's 198.25 for light heavies, we're in a really good spot to not have to stress about that. But the last couple of days have been only about 100 grams of carbs, so this is a very flat look right now. But yeah, so take my check-ins, send them over to Mark, and yeah.
So here, I like to take my check-ins in natural lighting. Right now, in the summer, when it's nice outside in the morning, kind of warm, so you can actually go outside in your trunks and pose. But two, it gives you the best, most detailed version of yourself, the most honest, which can be a good or bad thing. When you're on, you're on. But when you're not on, you will clearly see any water you're holding or inflammation. So it really is the best lighting you could possibly do for check-ins. And I'm really happy with how we're looking here. The glutes are coming in, separation in the legs. I'm looking a little less inflamed now that we've pulled cardio back from 80 minutes down to 40 minutes a day. Striations pretty much everywhere right now, which is amazing to see, but I am very, very flat. You can mostly tell on my arms and my shoulders and my chest, especially in the hamstrings as well. Those seem to fill out once I get some carbs. So I'm excited to see how this look changes over once we finally get to eating again.
So pretty happy with how I'm looking. Sent those over to Mark. Becoming leaner and leaner every day, so like the daily changes are really cool to see. So today's legs, carbs probably aren't going to change. He mentioned upping my fats for the leg day, so I'll wait to get that program. Probably won't be much, still around like 2,000, 2,300 calories total for the day. But we have 40 minutes of cardio to do total for the day, so I'm gonna bang 20 of that out right now, getting my coffee done, and then 20 post-workout. For this meal, we have 50 grams of vegetables, 50 grams of chicken, 3 whole eggs, 60 grams of oats with 10 grams of almond butter. On my way to the gym, got my pre-workout energy drink. I actually stopped using pre-workout about 2 weeks ago. My sleep was just pretty much non-existent. I know it's Sunday, and right now I'm training at like 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish, but on a regular day, I would be training around 5 o'clock. And having an energy drink around that time, I think, was affecting my sleep, maybe just because I'm so sensitive right now with the stimulants I'm on, with the prep, the fatigue. Like, my CNS is just so sensitive to certain stimulants. I was taking a pre-workout that had like DMAA and DMHA in it, so that, I think, honestly had more of an issue than the caffeine that was actually in the pre-workout. So I cut that out, switched to just an energy drink for pre-workout. And yeah, like, sadly the pumps aren't as good, just because, one, carbs are lower, two, not having a pre-workout with citrulline and arginine and beta-alanine, like all your helpful extra stims and extra pump products that are in there. So just doing what I can to get through the last couple weeks of this prep. Sleep is one of the most helpful things for fat loss. So making that a priority is going to lead you to success. So when I knew my sleep was only, it was only 2 or 3 hours a night, it was a big cause of concern. So whatever I could do to fix that, I started looking at different ways, sleep supplements, etc. And honestly, one of the biggest difference, I think it was a combination of a lot of things, like reducing fatigue, reducing my total stimulant intake for the day, as well as reducing caffeine before bedtime. All of those things seem to have made a difference, because now I get about at least 5 or 6 hours minimum a night, which is a major improvement, because I was averaging like 2 or 3 nights of sleep. And I don't know for anybody who's tried to sleep on prep, but you'll have nights where you'll go to sleep for like an hour, and then you'll wake up, use the bathroom because you have to pee all the damn time. So you'll pee, you'll go back in bed, and then you're wide awake for like another hour, 2 hours. Then you'll fall asleep for another hour, and then you'll wake up again, and you just repeat this process over and over and over again until you're just incredibly exhausted. It's like 6 a.m. and you're like, all right, I might as well just get up and start my day at this point because I'm not getting any sleep. And as athletes, we'll deal with it and we get through it, but it's not ideal for recovery, for muscle growth, holding our muscle when we're in a deficit. So there's a lot of reasons you want to see that as a cause of concern when you start getting consistent shitty sleep or no sleep, and then see what you can do about it just to get through the last couple of weeks and maximize your efficiency, your sleep efficiency. The other thing I always make sure is here in New Jersey this week, it is 90-something degrees almost every single day. So making sure I have an AC unit where my room gets freezing cold, because I need to be cold to sleep. And as soon as I feel it get warm or I'm sweating, I'll wake up and not be able to go back to sleep. So make sure your room is well air conditioned, very cold, very dark. I know these are the things everybody says, but it really does make a difference. It's the little things that just keep you asleep without having to wake you up. And then also having a consistent water intake. So not drinking all of your water that you need to get in for the day right before you go to sleep, because you're going to wake up a couple times to use the bathroom. So trying to get the majority of your water intake done before like 7 or 8 p.m. puts you in a really good spot where you can reduce that fluid intake for the rest of the night, and then you'll most likely not be using the bathroom, not waking up as much to use the bathroom, which is ideal. So got about a 25 minute drive right now from where I am to the gym. We're training quads and adductors. I really don't do any hamstring work on my quad day. It's pretty much straight adductor and quad. I'm going to try to record most of the workout. Maybe I'll talk over it with why I do what I'm doing, how many sets, etc. All the fine little details that some people might be interested in. Do some posing, post-workout posing, 20 minutes of stairs, eat my post-workout, and then the rest of the day is pretty much relaxing. Got my groceries done. So I'll probably keep trying the Elden Ring DLC, because I tried it earlier today. That shit was pissing me off. So we'll give it another run at it. Probably not a good idea to be trying it while I'm angry and hungry and starving and on edge all the damn time, but video games are my shit. So I'm gonna go and get angry over it, but it's so rewarding when you finally beat a boss, or you finally get past like a certain really hard part that you've been trying to get at. It's just such a rewarding feeling. So yeah, I'll shut this down and I will see you guys at the gym.
So like I mentioned in the previous clip, today's work was adductors and quads, with the first movements, the major movements being adductor focused. For this adductor machine, I focused on really getting the squeeze. I kind of do a like 2.5 second negative into that squeeze at the top. And I did 2 warm-up sets of 15 before this, not even going close to failure, and then 3 working sets here where I'm basically hitting failure right near the end of it with a little bit of assistance from myself. If you have someone working out with you, a workout partner, I would have them assist you with that last part right there, because it can really make a difference. I honestly think those reps, those really tough ones at the end, are what can make the difference between growth and not growth. Those are the most important times in your workout, is where you're really pushing yourself to exhaustion to get that stimulus. So then I moved into this hack press, is what it's called. Basically toes out, neutral / wide stance, so I can really push through my hips, through my adductors, with a little bit of quad activation, driving my lower back into that back pad. I really like focusing on the negative here, taking my time going down on each rep, exploding up a little bit, but not extremely abruptly, especially because with how my knees are feeling right now, I'm so dry that there is a little bit of pain, but it's more just uncomfortableness rather than any actual pain itself. But I'm trying to hit as deep as possible, really getting that knee flexion. You see me dig out that last rep right there, and then dive for a little bit after. But this was like my primary strength movement, really trying to hold strength as much as I can, even with food being as low as it is. Trying to keep that strength is what's going to keep muscle tissue from going away, and keeping that tissue once you wind up on stage. Then we moved into the leg press. I see a lot of people just throw on plates and hit the worst depth you would ever see. I really focus on getting as much knee flexion as possible, and I think even still I could be better at this movement, really going deep, as my knees need to be more towards my nipple line, basically, which on some of these reps are good, some of them aren't the best, but it's just working towards that and knowing, looking back on your training footage, like, how can I improve while looking at this? I think that's something I ignored in previous years, which, going back, looking at my training footage, I've been able to make improvements to all my lifts, and that has made an improvement in my physique just because I'm able to train more efficiently, train the muscle how it should be trained, and train harder. Sometimes you won't see yourself in person going towards your absolute failure, your absolute hardest, until you look back at a clip and then you see that, hey, I could have probably had another rep or 2 in the tank right there. And for this leg press, I'm doing a closer stance. So since I had a lot of adductor and wider stance activation on the last movement, this is now becoming quad biased. So trying to keep my foot placement closer, still comfortable, not so close that I'm like hurting myself, trying to get the weight all the way down while being such a narrow stance. But overall, that placement that I have feels extremely comfortable, and it's pretty much how I line up on the leg press every time I'm trying to do quads. This is another movement, the quad extension, that I see a lot of people just load weight up and then fling the weight up really fast, not controlling it at all. I think this should be a fully controlled movement. That's really how you can bring the detail and the separation between all the heads of your quad, is getting that full stretch at the bottom, feeling it for a second, even a half second, and then coming up and not exploding up so that the ankle pad is coming off of your leg. If the ankle pad is coming off of your leg, you are moving that weight way too fast, and there's no way your quads are being activated if it's leaving your ankles. There's just, you're no longer doing the movement correctly. You need to slow it down and be more controlled. After dying on the quad extension, and we just finished off this workout with some calf raises. Here it's just doing progressive overload, getting a full stretch and squeeze of the calf. I think calves are basic. I need to work on them. I know the stepper for me at least helps them, maybe gets them a little bit more conditioned, a little bit tighter. But I think with any movement, with any muscle, you're trying to progressive overload. So you're either getting more reps of the same weight, or you're increasing the weight for the same amount of reps. Or progressive overload can also be time. You're shortening the time between your sets, improving on the reps or weight with the shorter amount of time that you're giving yourself. So there's a lot of different ways to progressively overload, but I was really happy with this workout overall. Quads were definitely pumped, especially surprising with only being like 100 grams of carbs for the entire day. Before this, I hadn't even had those 100, like probably about half of that for the full day. And then some posing footage, because we're very close to show, so I'm trying to nail the posing every single day. I'm really happy with how we're looking. I know earlier in this video there was my fasted check-ins, but it's always curious to see how the body changes throughout the day, if there is any change at all, and especially once you actually have a pump. So I could tell, like, I lose a lot of the lines in the front of my quads because I just hit legs. But I'm really happy with how my glutes are looking. The posing room lighting in here is super honest. Like, you could be closer to the lights and you could create like a shadowing effect, but I think being under those bright lights when you're in contest prep, you can really see how truly lean you are. There's no hiding anything with this lighting. You can see the detail. It's almost like the sun is hitting you, so it almost mimics that natural lighting, or like a ring light. But I'm really happy with how we're looking. For being as flat as I am, this is the biggest I have looked out of any prep, which is a great feeling, especially since I just did my last prep a couple months ago, and I can visually see the improvements here, especially in the adductors, in the abdomen. The striations in my chest were not that prevalent. So we've made some jumps. And my glutes. My glutes are probably the one thing I'm happiest with the most, because previously I had never hit glutes, and now hitting them, I can actually activate them. I think I'm actually getting some of that muscle pushing against the skin. Even though it's flat, I'm now seeing what my glutes actually look like. And here, even relaxed, you can see there's a little bit of detail in the glutes without even having to flex them. But I would like to see, once I'm dry, dehydrated, how they're going to look. Hopefully we get lines everywhere, but now I'm getting these striations in my lower back and in my lats that I had never seen before. Alright, legs is done. Post-workout, one whole leg, 20 grams of chicken, 100 grams of rice. It's supposed to be 200 grams of cucumber, but still pickles, same thing. So for this meal we have 120 grams of chicken, 100 grams of rice, and 70 grams of avocado. So the rest of my meals today is going to be a meal 3 and a meal 4. I don't count pre and post as like the numbers. They're their own separate meals. So I don't know if I'll record it. In case I don't, I wanted to record this so it's there. So meal 3 is 120 grams of chicken, another 100 grams of rice, and then 50 grams of vegetables, 50 grams of avocado. And then the last meal is 3 whole eggs, 300 grams of egg whites, and 50 grams of vegetables. So no carbs in that meal. And that's it for the day. So just getting carbs from pre-post 1 and 2 meals, and 3 actually, but no carbs in meal 4. Yeah, and my brain's not working, but not a lot, just a little bit in each meal. But that's how you get shredded. So thank you guys for watching.